Hi, good evening, everybody. How are you all doing tonight? It's now April the 14th. It's about 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're going to talk about Bitcoin. So, a lot has been happening in the market thus far. Now, I want to state very clearly as well right now that I firmly believe, guys, that first of all, February 6th, the $6,000 low, and as of recent as well wherever, what date was it? Let's just be very, very clear about this as well. That around these dates over here, okay, 6,500 ranges between basically the April 1st all the way to about April 10th. I want to be 100% clear, okay? I'm just going to lower my camera so you guys can get a better view of myself. I want to be very clear with 100% certainty that I firmly believe that $6,500 was the floor. And I cannot believe at all that we are going to see a lower low than that anytime soon. In fact, I believe it is going to be the complete opposite, where there's a lot of money that's being put into the market. Now, we're going to go over some of these factors that have indicated as well that the $6,500 was the floor. Now, there's a large crypto hedge fund group out there called Pantera. In fact, they are the absolute biggest hedge fund out there that focuses primarily on cryptocurrency. In one of their newsletters, excuse me, they mentioned that 6,500 was probably the low for the cryptocurrency, okay? And it was highly likely that Bitcoin would reach above $20,000 this year. That's what the Wall Street Journal ended up reporting as well, okay? And more importantly, I also remember their newsletter as well, where their CEO of Pantera Capital, Dan Moorhead, he did say in December last year that it was very likely that we would drop well below 50% of the all-time high, which was, I believe, $19,950, just very slightly shy of 20,000. And he mentioned that there would be a big drop well below the 50% Fibonacci level of retracement. And now I wasn't around back then because I took a vacation month off in December, but as soon as I came back in early January, I also mentioned that there is absolutely no way we're going to sustain a very bullish momentum of only retracing to 382 to point 0.5 level. So I also concurred with what he was saying as well. Okay. So you guys have to remember what kind of surge we actually had in cryptocurrency for 2018. And that was a huge surge, right, guys? We went all the way from $700 early March, all the way up to $20,000. We went from a market cap of something really dinky like $50 billion to something like, I think it was 600, $700 billion that we actually ended up getting to. That was a lot of money that was actually put into the market. I'm just adjusting my camera a little bit more. There we go. So we have to respect the fact that because a lot of new money was put into the market, that people will take profit and that there will be some sort of reset in the market when this kind of money is poured in. Now, this is a very normal part of the market cycle, and that's something that we absolutely have to understand. Okay, guys? We have to understand the fact that what goes up very fast will usually come down almost just as fast. Nothing will simply just skyrocket to endless means and endless and just irrational prices without taking a break. When you look at it from the perspective of even fundamentals, right, of just basic supply and demand and economics 101, you have to respect the fact that it's all about liquidity, right? People will take profit, and there are very large players in the game that will come in and they will take profit, right? It's inevitable. Now, from a technical analysis perspective, we have to respect the fact that no RSI can actually stay overbought or oversold in particular regions for that long, especially based on Brown Cadence's RSI rules as well. So that was a very strong newsletter that they actually put out, and it could have been the actual catalyst that provided the big boost of about $50 billion in market cap. So additionally, lots of other large investment firms as well have been extremely excited, right? And they've cited here that a possible reason for BTC's recent upswing is a slowing down of the sell-off of crypto holdings in preparation for tax day in the US on April 17th, which was an explanation put forward by Tom Lee for the crypto market's general downturn last year. So if we take a look at other notes as well about Pantera, they are saying that the crypto hedge fund does say that Bitcoin has actually bottomed out. So the demand for Bitcoin, since it has death crossed, has been fairly significant in general. And we have to remember that Pantera Capital Management, which has more than $800 million in assets, they particularly say that 6,500 was the low of this bear market. And we can easily see a surpassing of the previous record of the $20,000 range. Okay, for those who are new to Pantera, who might think a hedge fund manager like Pantera would always be saying today is a great day to get long, right? they they don't really do anything like that. They do it from a very different type of perspective that's very professional, you can say, compared to a traditional technical analysis means. They factor in many other criterias as well. Okay, and you guys also have to remember a few things as well. And one of the main things to remember is that we used to be at $20,000, and now we've actually downtrended, right, to a low of $6,000, which, when you think of a $20,000 price versus an $8,000 or a $6,000 price now, that's actually a substantial fire sale. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the idea of buying Bitcoin right now, when we are at fairly particularly low prices compared to when we might actually hop on the bandwagon around 12, 13, 14, $15,000, it's much more appealing to me now at 8,000, even as a longer term investor. Now, don't even say I'm not saying that I'm trying to give you guys financial advice or anything like that at all. I'm more so speaking about it from the perspective of just my own perspective, right? Where I will be investing in Bitcoin. I will not just be day trading Bitcoin. I will be holding a larger amount than normal, because I firmly believe that 2018 is going to be, guys, look at me when I say this, okay? It is going to be the biggest bull market in the history of mankind, and there's not a single entity that can actually stop it. That is how confident I am, okay? That Bitcoin will have its major second cycle of bull run, and nothing is going to stop it, guys. We're going to go on this massive bull run, and I kid you not, that you guys should be very grateful to be a part of this. Now, don't feel bad, please, guys. Don't feel bad in any way if you feel that you've missed out on that $20,000 run, okay? Just because you guys missed out on it doesn't mean that you should just, wallow in self-pity and say to yourself, I should have got in then. I should have got in, like this, like that, or I regret it with my life. Be grateful if it's actually what brought you to the cryptocurrency game. Whether you came in because of news like Ripple or Ethereum, and even if you didn't trade or hold it, but you still say to yourself, I wish I got in sooner. Please, hold on, I'm just checking my messages here. Hey, yo, I'm gonna give you a call back, okay? I'm gonna give you a call back in about 10 minutes. I'm just actually doing a live show right now with my viewers, okay? I'll call you right back, bro. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. My other phone's going off too now. I got a lot of phones. I gotta turn off this phone over here as well. Yeah, I carry two phones on me. I don't know about you guys, but actually I carry three phones now. It's pretty important. It's Laos New Year's, so a lot of people actually want to get together to hang out. I apologize for that. I actually got a little bit sidetracked there. It's kind of a New Year's right now, and I'm on beer number 4 today, but it's I barely drink. It's kind of a once in a blue moon kind of thing. I've had 4 beers in the past like 9 hours. So cheers, guys, to Laos New Year's. I'm not sure if you guys know what that is, but that's actually where I'm from. I'm from a country called Laos, and the people from Laos, my country, and people from Thailand, we actually end up celebrating roughly the same time here, which happens to be from about April 14th to about April 16th. So it's actually like a 3-day celebration, which is kind of cool. That's my last beer for till I actually head out for the night. So guys, once again, I firmly believe that we are actually now at one of the all-time lows that we'll see for this bearish trend over here, okay? I don't think we're going to see anything lower than that. Okay, so 6,500, I agree with them as well, that it's very difficult for us to assume we can see a lower low. We have to keep in mind what's been going on as well, right? There was a chance for us to break below the 6,425 range, but we just simply couldn't do it. So right now, according to the market cap, what we see is we're at about $322 billion. There was a massive surge that was put into the market, which was a fantastic thing. Bitcoin is actually struggling because of how bullish it is right now to correct, which is actually a very positive sign, right? In general, we just look at the 7-day, actually the monthly chart here in general. We see like this lull between February the 30th, or sorry, March the 30th, and about April the 10th over here, where it just simply could not break below the 6,425 range. So awesome, it ended up just uptrending heavily. So right now, I still believe, guys, that we are either going to correct, like I hate to say it, but I feel that a healthier correction is very important. If we don't get any type of healthier correction, then what this would actually mean is that we are in a very bullish market, okay? So we have to think of Fibonacci retracements, or just retracements and pullbacks in general, or corrections, whatever you guys want to call it. We have to see it as what is healthy and what would be a more acceptable place for us to correct. Now, as much as we would like to correct between the 618 Fibonacci level all the time, it simply doesn't happen, guys, okay? It simply does not happen. What we have to come to expect is that sometimes it really is bullish enough for us to retrace to only the 236 or the 382 region if there's that strong of a will in the market to drive the prices up, especially with a massive news release from Pantera that basically said 6,500 was the actual floor. We have to take that into consideration, especially when we've seen literally 2 days averaging between 7.7 and 8.9 billion dollars. And the last time we've seen these kinds of volume, it was literally the highest 24-hour volume of all time in 1 hour span, which is very substantial in my opinion. So the last time that we've actually seen any type of sorry about that. The last time that we've actually, that was really surprising. It came out of like nowhere. So the last time we've actually seen a retracement roughly to, not a retracement, sorry, a volume that was trending around the $7-8 billion was actually all the way in March. That was a really long time ago. And now we're starting to average roughly between before that major downtrend, right? So if we take a look at before February 6th, right? February 6th, we were averaging some very, very heavy volume over there. Now let's see what kind of volume we were actually at around the December range, okay? So the December range, we were averaging, well, guys, well over $10 billion, right? If we take a look at the 24-hour volume before December 7th range, we see it, kind of where we are at now. So this is a very positive sign, in my personal opinion, that the market is starting to pick up right here as well, okay? So let's take a look at coin market cap to see where we're currently standing. Now, I'm not going to be too long because I've got some plans later tonight where I've got to kind of get going soon, okay? Well, it was very easy for us to tell that there was going to be a drop from this particular region because we just simply saw the RSI too high, right? Just too high. And now we have to wonder to ourselves, like, what is the next logical target, right? Well, let's go to a log scale. I'm only going to use the log scale from now on for this particular region of doing technical analysis because the non-log scale, it's a lot better, guys. Like, it's honestly a lot better for short time frames, but when you're looking over a very long period of time, you want to make sure that you're using a log time frame. I don't normally use the daily chart with log, but because of the type of technical analysis that we're doing, I want to make sure that I'm getting a lot of accuracy by doing it this way. So what we see is that this right here is touching it. It's also touching it clearly. It's also touching it here as well. What we see very clearly is that this right here is a very logical target, right? Around the 8,500 range. What we have to remember historically is that around the $8,500 range, we actually get a lot of momentum, okay? We get a lot of momentum, and we actually have a lot of just volume in general around the 8,500 ranges. If we actually trend all the way back to over here, right? Lots of volume around this particular area. So we have to be very cautious and be very mindful that 8,500 range is going to be a massive, not only psychological barrier, but historically based on technical indicators and just volume in general as well. And we also have to remember a few things, such as, in my personal opinion, I believe that a sloped horizontal support is very significant, but of course, it's not nearly as significant as a horizontal one, right? So when we're getting a slope line, once again, I believe that it's not nearly as important, or it's very important, but just generally speaking, like a horizontal one is going to be much, much more important. So I do believe, guys, give me a second here, I'll be right back. So now the big question is, are we actually going to correct, right? A few hours ago, it actually looked like Bitcoin was going to finish off with a very bearish type of candle. If it finished off with a very bearish type of candle, we would have simply been looking at around the 7,900 range right over here, right? So if we finished off around 9,000, 7,900 range, that would have been a double shooting star. But of course, the bulls ended up pushing it well above $8,000 to close, which was fantastic in my opinion. So I stand corrected, guys. I think I might actually be wrong, and I've got no problem at all saying that I'm wrong. Okay, so make sure you guys understand that I will always own up to my mistakes, and every time I do get it wrong, no problem. I will gladly say it as well. So the way that I originally anticipated it was that well, you know what? I stand corrected, okay? I might still be right. Okay, I might still be right. So you never ever know, right? So I'm still perhaps expecting a correction target to around 74.28 or to the 76.21 region right over here. Now, if we do correct to that, great. It's going to be a more healthy correction. But we also have to keep in mind that, in my opinion, if we correct to only the 236 Fibonacci level right here, okay, if we correct only to the 236 Fibonacci level, then 236 fib level, then that's going to be one of the most bullish patterns that we can actually imagine. So we have to make note of the fact that this region right there was actually a very strong resistance, which will actually now act as a support since we shot past it. So the way that I'm seeing this right here is a possible 1, 2, 3. Let's just say that this was 4 and this was simply 5, right? Let's just say we get up to somewhere up here. 8,500 will be the first step over here. But more realistically, we're going to take a possible range of 8,850 around there to 8,500. That's going to be my opinion of where we could possibly reach according to the log scale. So I just want to give you guys a quick update with where we stand. And right now, as it stands, it's very simple, okay? I'm going to pull up my Steemit posts that I've actually had up from before, just to make sure that we are all on the same page. Let me just grab it up over here. So according to my Steemit post from the Bitcoin technical analysis a while ago, okay, was that a break above 8240 will signal a rally to 8600 to 8850, right? That's my personal opinion. But before we get to that end, 8600 to 8850, we got to make sure that we break well above 8500, which historically tends to be a very strong psychological and based on statistics as well, to be a very strong number to break. But because we are actually lacking one wave, I still stand by my theory very, very firmly that if we break above 8240, we'll first of all get to 8500 as a target, okay? 8500 as a target, and then we'll most likely end up getting to about 8850 range. Now, if that does not happen, then we are simply going to correct to this white box down over here. And if we correct to this white box down over here, you guys got to make sure that you get ready, okay? I'm not a financial advisor by any means whatsoever. I'm not a financial advisor.